Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Coffee Rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. I will try to keep this as smooth as possible tonight, and try not to talk too much about this, but it is something we have to discuss. I've never been one to ever point the finger and say, I told you so. I've always been like, if we talk about things, we kind of get an idea, me and Jessica and a lot of you guys out here kind of get an idea of when things are going to start hitting the fan as far as price increases at the grocery stores. So I knew going into this, we've been talking about this on the channel. We've been talking about, even with the metal price tariffs, the taxes on metal. And you guys have been calling it out in the comments too. And thank you for mentioning this. It's something that I think we all know. And it's just at what point do we talk about it? And I think tonight's the important time to talk about it. A lot of these companies are taking advantage. They know that there are price increases of a lot of things coming. Whether that be cars, everything that has to do with metal, maybe aluminum cans, maybe pop, soda, whatever you like to call it, cans, canned goods, Campbell's, tuna, everything that we cover in the grocery stores on a daily basis, and all these companies seem to be just taking advantage of that. And how that is most recognized is products that are being created and made in the United States. I think it's kind of interesting. I was reading some of your guys' comments, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, we're going to talk a little bit about this. Because things like toilet paper and laundry detergent and soap and toothpaste and maybe, some over-the-counter medicines. A lot of them I don't know which are from around here and which ones aren't. I'm sure a lot of them aren't. But the things that are being made in the U.S. are going up in price too, all at the same time. Now, I went somewhere today. I'm not going to spoil where I went, but I was a little disgusted by what I saw. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. A lot of the things that we've been talking about are coming true. Now, again, I've never been one to point the finger and say, I told you so. And I've never one that's ever taken pride in being right about something, unless it's getting one over on Jessica in Jeopardy. I've never, I always like to be proven wrong, because if I'm wrong, I want to know about it, right? But if I'm right, I want to make sure that that information is put out here so that people, either one, don't make the same mistakes, or two, have a little bit of time to look for that deal or sale and then have the opportunity to stock up on that sale before you get hit with these massive price increases. I was a little sick to my stomach today. And you'll probably be able to tell in tomorrow's video, I was just not feeling it. I was like, I knew going into this place that I was going to possibly be disgusted. I didn't know it was going to be this bad. But everything that we've been talking about over the last week or two, prices are going up, guys. Prices are not only going up, but it does look like a lot of companies are going to take advantage of this. Now, the problem with it all is that everybody has an excuse. Oh, well, I have to pay more for a car. So if I own Campbell's Soup, just an example here, okay? If I own a company, and it's like, well, me and my daughter and my wife and my family, we're all going to have to pay more for cars. We're going to have to pay more for houses. And as to where this could be the finger point, this could be the finger point that companies will do and say, oh, well, we have to pay more for this, so we have to raise the price on this. Toilet paper's going up. And this conversation is just going to be all over the place. I'm really trying to talk about what I want to talk about in the point of this video without spoiling tomorrow's video. I have a very bad habit of spoiling our videos for the next day. And we do a lot on the channel here, and we want to make sure, because there is an entertaining factor as well. Even though this is a no laughing matter, Okay, I try to make it entertaining with throwing some little jokes in there whenever it feels right, you know. But um the direction that we see things going, which has been a question in the comments a lot. And I started thinking about something that we talked about a couple years ago when we saw these prices going up on a lot of different things. Now, I remember just a couple years ago, we would find 4-pound bags of sugar store brand for like $2, $2.19, $2.29. Once it got up, I think once Kroger got up to $2.49, people started talking about it. And then, it's been going up in increments there for a while. Things come down. Well, now they're right back up. And the one thing that I always talked about years ago that we've kind of gone away from a little bit is what is all involved with sugar price increases. This is excuses for just about anything on the store shelves that has sugar in it, right? Just like the metal, okay, everything that has metal, or even people question whether it's even the metal that's being taxed on or not. It's still that excuse for that company to raise those prices. Now, they could even use something very weak. They could use a very weak excuse like, oh, well, this isn't taxed yet, but it could be, and we need to prepare for this to be taxed. No, that's too far in, because at that point, you got to think like the consumer at that point. Like, I'm not waiting around for these ridiculous high prices, okay? I read something on a Canadian news channel. I can't think of the name of the Loblaws, which is a very popular grocery chain in Canada. I was hearing a story. They're talking about taking Folgers off the shelves. Loblaws. That is a big Canadian grocery store, supermarket. And honestly, I don't blame you. I don't blame them. I mean, they said 2 price increases within the last year. There's been more than that. Now, maybe in Canada there's only been 2, but there's been more than 2 around here. It's been like 3 or 4. 2 within just the last, maybe, okay. But no, 3. 3 within the time of 2025. Isn't that crazy? 3 price increases with Folgers Coffee. Now the thing is that's probably been the most notable one. We've seen a lot of price increases on coffee. We're also seeing companies that are coming out with more different flavors. I've seen Cafe Bustelo, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I did point out a couple the other day, but they have like these different flavors that I've never seen before. Now, they were on sale. That's the thing we need to watch out for, because we're finding the same thing that we were talking about a year or two ago. We're finding these products that are getting very high priced, but we're being blinded by the sale. We're seeing the sale price and we're like, wow, that's cheapest this has been in a while. And you might not notice that the price went up $2 or $3. Maybe a little more, a little less, give or take, depending on what the product is, whatever's trending, that's getting overly expensive. Now, so yeah, almost started talking about today's video. I really can't. I don't want to, because I want you to feel that wave of shock that I felt going there today. Now, you know that if I get disgusted about something, then it's pretty big. And I will tell you that it's pretty big. And I just, I was talking with Jess and, just telling her some of these things. And even with Jess, even like a lot of things that we don't use and stuff, we feel for you guys. Jessica reads the comments too. Jessica responds to a lot of comments, which come up Adventures with Dano. So you never really know when it's either me or Jessica answering your comment. It could be one or the other. It's just always answered with Adventures with Dano. But, we'll see and remember things that you guys talk about, different medicines and stuff that people just can't afford anymore. That it's gotten so far out of people's budget. And we're not just talking about people in the U.S. here, guys. We have viewers from all around the world. There are issues with medications in Canada, Australia, Germany, the UK. I mean, we're getting comments from you guys every day. Some of you guys have sent us emails to, basically discuss some of these things. Some of the stuff we don't have. Sometimes I don't go into that. Maybe in a coffee rant we will. But I've gotten to the point where it's gotten so bad, on so many different products that I'm going back to notes that I wrote down back in 2022. And that's not even about the prices. It's about what disappeared. One of those, if you guys remember, was children's Tylenol. Now, we haven't had that issue in a while. I still always check. I always check these things. It may not be in the video, but I'm always looking. Even if I just walk past the aisle, I'm looking to see if that stuff that people were talking about on the channel years ago is still coming in. Because that is something that goes hand in hand with a lot of these heavy price increases, is if it's even going to show up in the store. Now you take what I've just noticed, and this one I will talk about, and I think it's funny because we've had a lot of comments on this. Nobody has said this, though. But there have been some viewers on our channel that have been curious about laundry soap and other detergents. Now, I don't know if you knew this maybe and just didn't say nothing, but I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take a deep look into some of the laundry detergent, and see why are we getting so many comments on this. I figured it out. The prices are going up. I thought at first that it was shrinkflated, and me, myself, one who always looks for all the trickery, was blinded by a sale price. I was blinded at Meijer. Once I see it then you can't unsee it, and now it's like I'm seeing it everywhere. Now, we've been finding a lot of deals, but if you have noticed that your laundry soap hasn't gone up yet, chances are it probably is, because we're getting comments on it. People are talking about laundry soap prices, detergent prices, and then you have to think, okay, well, you go from laundry soap. What about some of the other cleaners? Look at some of the look at some of the other like soaps and stuff right now. Guys, I don't know. It just continues to pile on. I knew this was going to happen. I've been saying it over the last few days. I mean, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. But whenever there is a shocking element to the in the game here, whenever there's something that is like, okay, this is going to happen, prices are going to go up on this, I always talk about look at these other things. Look at what else may be going up here at the same time that doesn't really make sense with the thought, with this going up in price. It has nothing to do with this, the metal, the tariffs, the taxes on metal, the aluminum, the steel. Oh, well, we use steel drums to twist our toothpaste, and we're going to need, 100 new steel drums. That's my point is that is the excuse people are going to use. Whether it's true or not, this is going to cause everything to go up in price. And I hope not. I hope that some companies are just like, well, we just got to keep on keeping on. We already raised our prices. We can't raise it anymore, or people are going to quit buying. Like, maybe Folgers? I don't know. But I mean, people are talking. How many people do you see at your grocery store with a cart full of meat? I look at these things. I never really talk about them because I know why. Because it's so daggone expensive. Even if you can afford a steak or this, it's the principle. Now, let's be clear, okay, when it comes to beef. I understand the problems and with the prices with beef, whether it's feed or, I remember a year ago, a lot of farmers had to sell off their herd, their cattle, to pave the bills, So we could still be struggling with that, even though we were reading from a lot of farmers from, a year ago that this was going to start replenishing in early spring. If you remember last year, we were talking about this. Now, I always expect things to kind of lag off a little, but here we are, first week of June, and it's getting insane. So the point is that people just aren't going to buy beef. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be another price increase, because if these stores are wasting and wasting and wasting money, sure, people always say, let it sit, don't buy it. And I agree. I'm not going to pay for it. But eventually we're going to pay for it in another way, right? Because all these stores are going to end up wasting a lot of this stuff, and even with me, and that's why I've paid a little bit more attention to beef prices and stuff, because it's summertime and I understand everybody wants to grill. I want to grill, and you want to get the best deal you can. So I've tried to pay a little bit more attention into finding the best sales, for different, grilling out and stuff. I know some of you guys say, I'll just do hot dogs, I'll just do sausages and stuff like that, or pork. I mean, pork is higher than it was a year ago, but it's not like beef prices. Chicken's the same price it's been for years, which is surprising. But things, it's hard to pin a lot of things. If you see something where a price is going up on one thing, you have to think of what that could possibly go up on another. Now, there's factors that are in like produce and beef and meats and stuff like that. Like, well, obviously there's some circumstances of why beef prices are the way they are, right? And that's not just here in Ohio. I know somebody commented on that or said that, but it's all over the country. It's all over the country. Maybe all over the world. Let us know down in the comments if you're one of our viewers outside of the United States here. Let us know what your prices are. I know we've had some comments, but I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. So let us know down in the comments so everybody can find out. But I think I know the answer. And coffee is going up all around the world. It's not just the United States. But again, if the $1 trillion owner of these companies goes to the store and is like, wow, $20 for Folgers? No, okay, well, I guess we got to raise our prices again because everything's going up. I don't know if that's the exact case, okay? But doesn't it feel like that? I don't know. The message still stays the same, guys. We go and we try to find the deals. We try to provide a little bit of entertainment because you know what? I kind of thought, and shame on me, I guess, but I kind of thought that maybe we were starting to level off in certain areas. And you understand the beef prices. Never really understood the sugar prices. Why is sugar going up? I'll tell you why. Because it can. Sugar is going to be one of the reasons why a lot of other products in the grocery stores go up too, for the same reasons we talked about earlier. Sugar is in everything, unless you buy something specific that doesn't have sugar in it. And then that's going to cost you more because it doesn't have sugar in it. It's a no-win situation, guys, and we just have to get creative, right? Remember a couple years, who's been on the channel that long, huh? When we were talking about when nothing was in the stores, a few years ago due to what, and, it was like, we were like, hey, we can't get this, we can't get that. People were putting up recipes and everything on the channel here. People were getting creative with everything, things we couldn't find in the store. People were putting spices and just all kinds of, we did a lot of this stuff. We followed a lot of your guys' different recipes. We were showing different things we were doing. And again, yet again, here we are having to try and get creative. And, we're going to have to. We're going to have to because this just keeps getting worse and people keep taking advantage of the situation. And, as to where I have always been reluctant to talk about these things because I don't want to. I don't want to have to deliver the doom and gloom and all that stuff. But we got to make sure we're aware so that we can prepare for our future and know that this can happen at the drop of a hat. These things can happen like that. And that is exactly how it's happening right now. That is why we're having this conversation. And I just hope that it's minimal. I hope these increases are minimal this time. Because, we just can't afford to have places like Dollar Tree and discount stores skyrocket their prices. because that could be another excuse. People keep saying, well, it's only a matter of time before Dollar Tree goes up to $1.50, $2. I got news for you. It's already happening. It's probably already in the process. They're trying to work out the logistics on that. I don't know for a fact. I have no inside information. I just know how this happened with Dollar Tree before, right? And it could happen again. I don't know for sure, but I just go by what I've seen in the past, and in plans for the future of the way these things go, we have to be a little more prepared now than we were yesterday. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.